Hi, hello, welcome back to English class. Students, hope so you're fine and safe. Today we are going to see grammar. As such, if you are interested to listen, grammar is so easy and interesting. First of all, we can have a short introduction on phrases and clauses. Phrases and clauses are one of the most important and basic grammar in higher classes. At first, we must know what is phrases. Phrases are group of related words. It does not have a subject and verb in a sentence. It does not express a complete sense or idea in a sentence. Yes. Now we are going to see clauses in a very detailed manner with its types. Content of the topic. 1. Introduction to clauses. 2. Main clause. 3. Subordinate clause. 4. Types of clauses. 5. Noun clause. 6. Uses of noun clause. 7. Adjective clause or relative clause. 8. Types of adjective clause. It may be, it is, defining and modifying clause. 9. Adverb clause. Let's move on to the topic. First of all, we can see the introduction to clauses. Clauses are group of related words. It has a subject and verb in the sentence. It is being related to main clause and subordinate clause. Here are some of the example sentences for the clauses. Here, in these examples, you can see two or more clauses in one sentences with a subject and verb. 1. He laughed. So as such, we know already he is the subject. Laughed is a verb. He is a subject. Laughed is a verb. So, as such, we have seen already clauses have subject and verb. So, which has a related words that gives meaning. So, he laughed gives a meaning. So, this is the sentence of clause. Hope so you understood the first sentence. Second sentence. The kids were laughing at the joker. See the sentence once again. The kids were laughing at the joker. Here in this sentence, the kids is the subject. Were laughing is a verb. So, on the whole, the kids were laughing is the clause which has a subject and a verb. You can ask here a question, what does this mean? At the joker. At the joker. Is it gives any meaning? No, it does not give any meaning separately. It does not have a subject. See here, any subject is there in this lines, in this words? No. There is a verb in this words? No. So, at the joker is a related words which describes phrases. I told you already that phrases does not have a subject and verb, and it does not give a complete meaning in the sentence. So here in this sentence, the kids were laughing is the class. At the joker is phrases. Hope so you understood the second sentence. Shall we move on to the third sentence? Yes. See, I am happy because I won a prize. Once again, I am happy because I won a prize. See the first half of the sentence. I is a subject. Am is a verb. With that, we can fulfill am happy is a verb. So, once again, I is a subject. Am happy is a verb. This is one set of class. This is one set of class. So, class 1. See, I am happy. So, this is one set of class. Now, come back to the second half of the sentence. Because I won a prize. Because is a conjunction word, as we all learnt in 7th standard, right? So, leave that. I won a prize. Here, I is a subject. One is a verb. So, this is class 2. So, this is the second class in a sentence. I is a subject, one is a verb. On the whole, I won a prize is a class. Now see, we have seen already, you can see 2 or more clauses in one sentence with a subject and verb. See here, I am happy is one class. I won a prize is a second class. So, 2 classes are there in a same sentence. Once again, I am happy. I is the subject, am is a verb. So, this is a class. Because is a conjunction word that unites 2 sentences as a single sentence. See the second sentence, I won a prize. I is the subject, one is a verb. So, I won a prize is a class. So, see here, I am happy. It is a first class, that is a sentence of first class. I won a prize is a sentence of second class. Hope so you understood it very well. Let's move on to the fourth sentence. See the sentence how big it is? Yes. See, I like mathematics, but my brother like biology because he wants to become a doctor. Once again, I like mathematics, but my brother like biology because he wants to become a doctor. See, 2 or more clauses is there in the sentence. Let's see. See the first sentence. I like mathematics. Here, I is a subject. Like is a verb. So, on the whole, I like mathematics is a class. But is a conjunction which unites two or more sentences as a single sentence. So leave that. See the second sentence. My brother like biology. Here, my brother is a subject. Like is a verb. So, on the whole, see the second sentence. My brother like biology is a second sentence of class. Once again, see the first sentence. I like mathematics. I is a subject. Like is a verb. So, on the whole, I like mathematics is a class. It is a one sentence of class. But is a conjunction. My brother like biology. My brother subject. Like is a verb. So, my brother like biology is a class, which is the second sentence. My brother like biology. It is a second sentence of class. Let's move on to the third sentence. Because. Because is a conjunction word. I told you already. It unites one or two sentences as a single sentence. He wants to become a doctor. Here, he is a subject, wants is a verb. So, on the whole, he wants to become a doctor is a class sentence, which is the third sentence of the class. Once again, I like mathematics. I is a subject. Like is a verb. I like mathematics is a one set of class sentence. But is a conjunction. My brother like biology. My brother is a subject. Like is a verb. So, my brother like biology is a sentence of class, which is the second sentence. Because is a conjunction. He wants to become a doctor. He is a subject. Wants is a verb. So, on the whole, he wants to become a doctor is a class sentence, which is the third sentence. Hope so you understood the class now very well. Yes. Let's move on to the next. Here we are going to see two types of clauses. It is a very basic thing which all must know about the grammar, about clauses. Yes, let's see. Main clause. Main clause is also called as independent clause. So, it is called as independent clause. Why it is? Because it can stand alone. That means nothing. In a sentence which has a subject and verb which gives a meaning is a main clause. It expresses complete idea that has a subject and verb in the sentence. So, on the whole, the sentence which has a subject, verb and which gives a complete meaning in a sentence is called as main clause. Once again, main clause is also called as independent clause, which can stand alone without any support. It expresses a complete idea that has a subject and verb in the sentence. Let us see some example sentences, then you can come across what is a main clause. You can understand it very well. See the first sentence. He is buying a shirt which looks very nice. The letters which are in italic is the main class. Let's see. He is buying a shirt. He is the subject. Is a verb. He is buying a shirt. Shirt is a noun here. Yes. We no need to concentrate in that first. First we can see the subject and verb. He is buying a shirt. So he is buying a shirt, which gives a complete meaning for the sentence. Yes? Yes. So this is main class. See, he is a subject, is buying is a verb. So he is buying a shirt, or it may be he is buying a box, a cloth, or anything we can add to it. So he is buying a shirt is a main class. The words which are in bold letters, it is a subordinate class. We can see that in the next slide. Yes. Hope so you understood what is main class in the first sentence. Let's move on to the second sentence. You can know about it very well. See the second sentence. I met a boy. I is a subject. Met is a verb here. So I met. It gives a complete meaning, right? So whom we have met? A boy. So it gives a complete meaning for a sentence. So I met a boy. It gives a complete meaning for a sentence. So it is main class. Now let's move on to the third sentence. The teacher asked a question, but no one answered. See the first sentence. The teacher asked a question. Here the teacher is a subject. Asked is a verb. So what the teacher asked? She has been asked a question, right? So that is what we are coming to a point of view here. The teacher asked a question. So the teacher is a subject, asked is a verb. So on the whole, the teacher asked a question is the main class for the sentence. Let's move on to the fourth sentence. He takes medicines because he suffers from fever. He is a subject. Takes is a verb. So he takes. What he takes? He takes medicines. So it gives a complete meaning for a sentence. He takes something he is taking. So it gives a meaning, right? So on the whole, he takes medicines is a main class. Hope so you understood the main class, how it will be in a sentence, right? Here you have to know about something. Listen. He is buying a shirt which looks very nice. It is a connective word here in the first sentence for the main class and subordinate class. See the second sentence. I met a boy who helped me. Who is a connective word for main class and subordinate class. I'll tell you what is subordinate class, then you can understand it very well. See the third sentence. The teacher asked a question, but is a linking word. No one answered. It links a main class and a subordinate class. Fourth one, he takes medicines because he suffers from fever. Because is a connective word that connects a main class and a subordinate class. Yes. Hope so you have understood the main class very well from this examples. Yes. Let's move on to the next. Yeah. Subordinate class. Subordinate class is always a dependent class. Why it is dependent? You students always depend on your parents. Without the parents, You don't know anything and you don't express anything, right? Yes. Without a staff, without a teacher, the students cannot become a good leader or any position person in the society. Like that, here the subordinate class is always dependent to main class. See, subordinate class is always a dependent class and it depends on the main class as it cannot stand alone. So it cannot stand alone. Why? Because it does not express a complete idea and it does not have a subject and a verb in the sentence. Yes, it is always dependent. It depends to the main class. It cannot stand alone. Why? Because it does not express a complete idea in a sentence. But sometimes it may have a subject and a verb in the sentence, but it does not give a complete meaning without a main class. Most often, subordinate class does not have a subject and a verb. It does not give a complete meaning to the sentence. So it always depends on the main class. Hope so you understood the subordinate class, that is the introduction to subordinate class, very well. Let's move on to the example sentences, then you can come across the subordinate class, you can understand it very well. The same example, see. He is buying a shirt. So I told you already, he is a subject, is a verb, is buying is a verb. So on the whole it is a main class. Now come to the bold lettered words, which looks very nice. Which looks very nice. Is there any subject? No. Is there any verb? No. It gives any complete meaning, which looks very nice. What looks very nice? We don't know what is that, right? It does not give any complete meaning for the sentence. So, this sentence always depends on the main class. That is the first sentence. He is buying a shirt which looks very nice. Is it gives a complete meaning? Yes. With the main class, the subordinate class gives a complete meaning. Without the main class, there is no subordinate class. It does not give any complete meaning. As such, I told you which is a linking verb for the first sentence and the second sentence. Yes. Hope so you have understood the first sentence very well. Let's come across the second sentence. I met a boy who helped me. So here as such, I told you already, I is a subject, met is a verb. On the whole, I met a boy is a main class. Come to the second sentence, who helped me. Who helped me? If at all you didn't mention that person, you don't know who is that, it does not give any complete meaning, right? It has a verb, but it does not give any complete meaning. It does not have a subject. Yes, it always depends on the first sentence. I met a boy who helped me. So without the main class, no subordinate class, no complete meaning. So who helped me is the subordinate class here. Now we can move on to the third sentence. The teacher asked a question but no one answered. As such, I told you the teacher is a subject, asked is a verb. So on the whole, the teacher asked a question is a main class. But no one answered. But is a linking word. No one answered. For what no one answered? We don't know. Does it give any complete meaning? No. So it always depends on the main class. So but no one answered is a subordinate class here. Let's move on to the fourth sentence. He takes medicines because he suffers from fever. He is a subject, takes is a verb, he takes medicines is a main class. Because is a conjunction word that links one sentence with the other sentence. He suffers from fever. Look at it. He is a subject here. Suffers is a verb here. But anyhow, does it gives any meaning? Because he suffers from fever? What reason you are going to tell for that? What is the effect you are going to tell for that? Is that gives any complete meaning? No, it always depends on the main class. He takes medicines because he suffers from fever. So because he suffers from fever is the subordinate class here. Now come to the fifth sentence. I saw a man who was crying. I is a subject, saw is a verb. I saw a man. So I saw a man, it gives a complete meaning, so it is a main class. Who was crying? Who is the word, conjunction word that links one sentence with the other. So who was crying? Who was crying? We don't know who was crying, right? It does give any complete meaning for the sentence? No. So this is a subordinate class here. See, was crying is a verb, right? But anyhow, it depends on the subject of the main class. I saw a man who was crying. So subordinate class always depends with the main class. See the sixth sentence. When all else fails, read the user manual. So right from the first to fifth sentences, we have seen the main class that comes in the front and the subordinate class comes at the back. But here in this sentence, the subordinate class comes first and then it depends on the answer that comes in the main class. If you study about the simple sentence, compound sentence and complex sentence, both the simple and compound sentence that depends on the main class and subordinate class, which will be like this up to the fifth sentence example. But complex sentences always will be like this. Why? Because it depends on first. In complex sentences, the subordinate class will come first and then the main class will come as the second sentence. You can learn it in the future. Now we can see here, when all else fails, what fails? Does it give any meaning? No. Read the user manual. Read the user manual. So this is the main class here. When all else fails, read the user manual. So without this sentence does not give any meaning. So this is the subordinate class. Hope so you understood very well about the subordinate class and main class. Once again, we can move on with the classes. Classes are a group of related words. It has a subject and verb in the sentence. Here are some of the examples. We have seen about a main class. It is always an independent class. It can stand alone. It expresses a complete idea about the subject and verb in the sentence. These are some of the example sentences of main class. Subordinate class, it always a dependent class. It always depends on the main class as it cannot stand alone. Why? Because it does not express any complete idea and it does not have any subject and verb in the sentence. These are some of the example sentences. Now we can move on with the types of classes. There are three types of classes. 1. Noun class. 2. Adjective class. 3. Adverb class. Before that, I'll tell you what is noun, adjective and adverb. We have seen so many times in classes, right? Yes. See, noun, adjective, adverb, everything comes under parts of speech, right? So we are having 10 or 8 parts of speech is there. So extra 2 will be there. Conjunction, interjections, everything. Okay, let's see. 8 parts of speech. the main 8 parts of speech. In that, noun, adjective, adverb comes. First we can see what is noun. Noun, it always tells about, it points out on a name of a person, place or thing. Adjective, it gives additional information to the subject or a noun in a sentence. It gives additional information about the noun. Adverb, adverb always gives extra information about the verb. Adverb, additional information about the verb. Verb is nothing, it tells about the, it points out about the action that is taken place by the noun. So additional information for the verb, that is adverb. So these are the 3 types of classes: noun class, adjective class, adverb class. Let's see what is noun class at first. Noun class always begin with these words in the sentence. Before that, I told you noun is a parts of speech that points out a name of a person, place or thing. So the same thing is happening here in noun class also. The noun class, it does the work of a noun, which always points out a name of a person, place or thing. So it plays a role of a noun here. How we can find out the noun class in a sentence? Let's see. Noun class begin with these words in a sentence. So these are some of the words. With this clue words, we can easily identify this is the noun class in the sentence. If the sentence begin, before that these conjunction, noun class conjunction words will be there before a sentence. Let's see. That, what, whatever, who, whom, whoever, whomever. These are also called as noun class conjunctions. That, what, whatever, who, whom, whoever, whomever. Here, what, it acts as a subject in the sentence. Whatever, it also acts as a subject for the sentence. Who is also a subject of the sentence. Whoever is also plays a role as a subject in the sentence. But whom acts as an object for the sentence. If we see some of the examples, we can know about it, how it plays a role in noun class, how we can find out noun class in the sentence with these types of noun class conjunctions. See, noun class plays a role of a noun as it points out the name of a person, place or thing. I told you already, right? Yes. We can see an example for a noun class sentence. What you said made me laugh. What you said made me laugh. So I told you noun class always begin with a noun class conjunction, which can make us to find out this is a noun class sentence. So this is a trick word, this is a clue word which makes us to find out what is noun class. See, what is a subject here, right? It plays a role as a subject. So it is a noun class conjunction. What you said. You is as usual a subject, said is a verb. So on the whole, what you said is a noun class sentence. Once again, what you said made me laugh. What is a noun class conjunction? You is a subject, said is a verb. So what you said, on the whole, this is the words compilation of words that gives a noun class. Hereby, noun class starts with conjunctions words that is given in the introduction. Yes, it has been started with the noun class conjunction, right? So what you said, on the whole, it is a noun class conjunction. It is a noun class. So with this, you can come to a point of view what is a noun class and how the noun class conjunction make us to identify the sentence as a noun class. Let's see the uses of noun class now. It is being used in 4 types. That is, first through subject, next through object or subject complement, next through object of preposition, next through adjective complement. 4 types. Through these 4 types of uses, we can find out this is a noun class in a sentence. First, we can come across subject. See the first sentence. What she wore to the party really turned some heads. So as such, I told you already what is a noun class conjunction. So we can find out that this is a noun class. She is a subject, or is a verb. See, turned is also a verb here. We can come to this afterwards. First, see what she wore to the party. On the whole, it is a noun class sentence. This is a subject here now. What about the remaining part? Yes, we can see. Really turned some heads. So what she has wore to the party, what happened? What was the effect there? Everyone turned their heads and see her, right? So that much she was very beautiful, and that much she was very rich in wearing her dress, right? Yes. So what she wore to the party, this is the subject which act as a subject for the verb turned. So this is a subject. What was the effect? Really turned some heads. So everyone, so many persons, they turn their heads by seeing her, right? Once again, see what is a noun class conjunction. She is the subject, or is a verb. So on the whole, what she wore to the party is the subject. It acts as a subject. Why? Because see here, the verb is there, turned. It is the effect for the subject. So what she wore to the party acts as a subject for the verb turned. So on the whole, noun class, and it acts as a subject to the verb turned. Hope so you understood the first one. If you see the second example, you can understand it very well. See the second sentence. Whatever you learn will help you in future. So here, as such as the same first sentence, see here 2 verb is there. See, whatever is a noun class conjunction. You is the subject, learn is a verb, help is a verb. Now whatever you learn is the noun class. So whatever you learn is a noun class. It acts as a subject to the verb help. Whatever we learn, what it will do, what the effect will be, will help you in future. So this is the effect. So whatever you learn, it becomes as a noun class here. It acts as a subject to the verb help. So on the whole, this is the subject which helps the verb here in the sentence. Once again, see, whatever is a noun class conjunction. You is a subject, learn is a verb. In this sentence, whatever you learn act as a subject to the verb help. So what happens here? This is a use of a subject. With this we can find out this is a noun class. So we can understand that we'll be having a noun class conjunction, we'll be having a subject, we'll be having a verb. If we have another verb in a sentence, so the first part of the sentence will act as a subject for the verb. So this is what we understood finally in the subject. Next, we can move on to the second use, that is object complement or subject complement. We can see some of the example sentence, then you can understand it very well. See the first sentence. Please ask a mom what we are having for dinner. So as such, I told you the noun class will begin with the noun class conjunction. It may come in the first beginning of the sentence, or it can come in the middle of the sentence. So with this example, you can come to a point of view that a noun class conjunction will come in the beginning, or it will come in the middle of the sentence. Okay, yes. See, please ask mom. Wait, this is one part. So come here, what? So this is the noun class conjunction. So from here our sentence begins. So what is a noun class conjunction? We are having is a verb. See, we is the subject, are having is a verb. So what we are having for dinner, on the whole, it is a compilation of a noun class. It has a noun class conjunction, it has a subject, it has a verb. So this is the noun class conjunction. Now come here, ask. Ask is a verb. Ask is a verb. So please ask a mom. See here, what we are having for dinner. We usually ask this question, what we are having for a dinner. But for this, whom we have to ask? We have to ask a mom. So please ask mom what we are having for dinner. So this part, what we are having for dinner, it acts as a subject complement for the verb ask. So the second part of sentence acts as a verb for the verb of the first sentence. So please ask mom what we are having for dinner. See, once again, we can see the word what comes in the middle of the sentence. So it is the beginning of the noun class. So it is a noun class conjunction, and it acts as a subject. Here one more subject is there, that is we. And are having is a verb. So on the whole, what we are having for dinner is the noun class, which acts as a subject complement for the verb ask. Hope so you understood the first sentence. Now we can see the second sentence. See the first sentence. I'm sorry. See the first sentence. Please ask mom what we are having for dinner. So ask is a verb, I told you, but what we are having for dinner, it acts as an object for the verb. Why? Because I'm telling here it is as an object. Please ask mom what we are going to ask, what we are going to have for dinner, right? So that is what we are going to ask. So now it becomes an object complement for the verb. See here, what we are having is a noun class and ask is a verb. Here this what we are having for dinner acts as an object complement for the first sentence. Please ask mom. Okay, yes, hope so now we are clear with this. Sorry for your inconvenience. So the first sentence, it acts as an object complement for the first sentence. Second sentence. Paul isn't what is generally considered as handsome. So Paul isn't what is generally considered as handsome. See here what comes in the middle. So from here our noun class starts. What is a noun class conjunction? Is a verb. Considered is also a verb. See, what is generally considered as handsome is a noun class. So what happens here is, now come to the first part of the sentence. Paul is the subject. Isn't is a verb. See here, but we have seen only verb here, right? In the first sentence, please ask mom what we are having for dinner. We are having a noun class conjunction, we are having a subject, we are having a verb, but here in first part of the sentence we have only verb. So it acts as a object complement in the first sentence. But see here, Paul isn't, it is a subject, it is a verb. In the noun class, you can see what is a noun class conjunction. Two verbs are there, but no subject. So what happens? What is generally considered as handsome becomes a noun class, and Paul becomes a subject complement for the noun class. So what happens here? Paul is a subject, isn't is a verb. So Paul is a subject, only subject which is there, act as a subject complement for the noun class, what is generally considered as handsome. Hope so you understood object and subject complement through two examples. How the sentence act as a object complement, how the sentence act as a subject complement in the sentence. Yes. Next, object of preposition. First, we can see what is preposition. You have already seen in your past away classes, that is preposition. Preposition, that is a before position. For what? Before the noun. So if a noun word is there, before that a preposition will be there. So preposition, that is before the noun. So with the example we can find out how it plays a role as an object of preposition. See the example. Arya should not be held responsible for what her brother does. So from what noun class starts? So what is a noun class conjunction? Her brother does. Her brother is a subject, does is a verb. So what her brother does becomes a noun class. So what I told you, it is a noun class conjunction. So before that for is there. So I told you preposition, for is a preposition. Preposition has some of the clue words. With that we can find out which is preposition, like in, on, at, for, because, everything. So here in this sentence we are having before what? For. So for becomes a preposition here. So it acts as an object of preposition for the noun class. So what her brother does is a noun class, and before the noun class a preposition comes which acts as a object of the noun class. Once again, Arya should not be held responsible. For what? For what her brother does. So what her brother does becomes a noun class, and for that, before that we'll be having for, it becomes a preposition. So preposition is nothing but it is a preposition before the noun. In this sentence, what is a noun class conjunction? What her brother does is a noun class, and before that we'll be having a preposition. So object of preposition. Hope so you have understood object of preposition. It is a third use of noun class. Next is adjective of complement. So here adjective, I told you already, adjective is nothing but it gives a additional information for the noun. It gives additional information for the noun. It describes the noun or gives additional information about the subject. Subject is nothing, it is a noun only. Okay, so it gives a additional information for the noun or subject. Now come to the first sentence. I am happy that you have decided to come. I am happy that you have decided to come. So that is a noun class conjunction. So from here the noun class starts. That you have decided to come is a noun class. You is a subject, have decided is a verb. So from here it starts with the noun class. That is a noun class conjunction. Before that, what you have decided to come? You have decided to come. So what will be the effect? I'm very happy. So that was the effect. So it becomes the additional information. You have decided to come is a normal sentence. What is the effect on me? I'm very happy regarding that you have decided to come. So this is the additional information given to the subject. So once again, I'm happy that you have decided to come. That is a noun class conjunction. You is a subject, have decided is a verb. So on the whole, that you have decided to come is the noun class. And before that, happy is the additional information which acts as a adjective complement for the noun class. See, happy is a adjective which gives additional information to the subject. How I am. How I am. You have decided to come. How I am. I am very happy. So this is the additional information that is given to the noun class. So now here happy is adjective that acts as adjective complement for the noun class. Hope so you have understood the 4 uses of the noun class. Once again we can have a summarize here. Subject in the sentence of the noun class, the noun class sentence, it acts as a subject for the verb. Next is object complement or subject complement. Before the noun class, some of the sentence will act as a object or subject complement for the noun class. Object of preposition. Before the noun class conjunction, the preposition will be available and it acts as an object for the noun class. Next is adjective of complement. So before the noun class conjunction, before the noun class sentence, adjective will be available and the adjective will act as a adjective complement for the noun class. Hope so you have understood the noun class and its uses very well.